Welcome back to Bold Action RC, guys. So I've been looking at this buggy for a couple weeks now. I finally pulled the trigger and it is here. So we're going to get this thing on the workbench. We're going to look it over, talk about some of the things that I'm going to do to it. So let's get over here to the workbench, check this thing out, and see what we got. At first glance, guys, $280 after shipping and handling and tearing the body off this thing. Look at the amount of aluminum that is in here. Everything that is that green yellowish color is aluminum, and it is just strung out through this thing. It's crazy. The bottom of the chassis looks super cool. I dig that. Look at the skull. Wow. But guys, this is the Stormbreaker carbon version. I did not purchase this thing to really do an unboxing or a stock review. I'm going to tear this thing down and completely rebuild it and put a good base tune to what I like as a driver, and see if this thing can compete. We got race season coming up. April the 25th is our first race season, or first day of our race season, and I would like to try to get some 1/10 scale buggies out here. So, stuff like this is what I'm getting at. Look at that. I'm having to it's stiff. Like, that's the stuff you gotta look for. That is not good performance. It's either too tight or they're bushings and not bearings. So I'm going to look into that real quick. So I did this off camera because I really wanted to make sure that it was going to work. But here is the ESC plate that used to be over on this far corner. So I took it and trimmed it up where it started to get water and then narrow back in. I trimmed it up to give me a gap, so if I run a sensored motor or upgrade in the future, I will have room for that wire. At the bottom where the ridging is, I had to cut a lot of that out, besides the two pieces that the screw actually goes in. Just cut the center out to where it can clear these in the chassis. So on the bottom, which is this screw right here at the tip of my thumb, so I drilled it out and then used a slightly bigger drill bit to countersink it. So, and I did it up here too. So to make this a little easier, I took a drill bit to where the screws were. Yeah, there you go, you can kind of see them. Let me get a pointer here. So I took a smaller drill bit, went to the existing holes underneath, and went ahead and ran it through. A super small bit, smaller than the hole down below. So run it through, pop out the other side. Then when you get this lined up where you want it, or where you're happy with it, take that same drill bit, stick it in the hole, run it down, and make your marks of where you're going to be drilling. Like, it just fits perfect. Just perfect. And yes, I did braid the wires to where they stay where I want them. Yeah, I'm gonna get that stuck in, figure out a place for my on and off switch, and start routing wires to the receiver box and getting ready to put XT90s, or an XT90 on this thing. So that'll be awesome. It'll be in line with the battery, and all the weight will be pretty even. I was gonna move the battery tray, but the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, you know what, it's for the weight and for everything over here, it's gonna kind of balance out anyway. So I'm not too worried about moving this tray at the current moment. Go in here and wrap this thing. Because them vents being on the inside of the rim like that, what they'll do is it'll sling dirt inside it, and then it'll cause the wheel to be unbalanced, and you'll get a little bit of a wobble, and then I'll come onto the opposite side of the holes going this way where the holes are like this, and I will puncture the tire, so if dirt gets in there, it has a way to escape, and they will be vented. RC tire glue is worse than damn onions. Whew. Burning my eyeballs. Alright, well. So moving from the workbench to my paint booth. So got some colors picked out, still shaking them up, trying to get everything mixed. But I'm removing the paint off the body with this stuff, which is very potent. So make sure you have a proper ventilation. You know, if you're doing this inside, I'm a little crazy, so yeah, I don't recommend you doing this inside. But anyway, like I said, as long as you got your good stuff, you know, you got everything getting blown out, you ain't over there sniffing. Anyway, so yeah, just take your brush or sponge, whatever you got, paper towel, it all works the same. Douse it in that, a little bit of elbow grease, and then you get perfection. So I'll clean it up, do liquid mask, draw my design, cut it out, and start picking my colors. There's my air compressor over there, airbrush right there. All right, we'll get to it. I'm gonna go and do an overview of this thing in a little bit more in depth. So let's start with the front because there's a lot going on here. With the steering on this thing, I have noticed when it's trying to turn, towards passenger side, and it's almost maxed out, it hits right here in the chassis, right there. Let's see, in between, right there, in that corner. Anyway, so I just notched it out, no big deal. Made sure that I had full travel, both directions. I made sure it was hitting the diff casing each way. Also, with these knuckles, you'll want to take either a piece of sandpaper or a die grinder bit. If you have a Dremel laying around, makes this job a lot easier. But file this ridge down from the corner all the way to the end. Adjust your link out to where you can drill you a new hole and tuck this rod in a little bit to where it don't rub the inside of the rim. Also, with clearance issues, you'll want to go to a flathead screw right here where the hinge pin or this knuckle pin is to hold it in. You'll want to notch out right next to it where the buggy wheel goes when it turns to make sure there's no interference or binding or any of that. This is off of one of the Traxxas trucks. There's the part number. So yeah, it's that. This hex is a little bit wider and it just spaces out the front a little bit. And I did notice that with these buggy rims, with just how this truck is laid out, it was so narrow in the front it looked ridiculous. So adding this spacer, not only did it help everything else, but it helped the look of this thing. It really brought the front wheels out to where they're almost even with the rear, and it just overall looks better. And I'll show you this side. So yeah, it looks just so much better. I mean, it's right there. Anyway, so continuing on with the front, you'll want to make sure in your bell crank that you take them bushings out and convert them over to bearings. This thing was extremely stiff out of the box, but I took the servo, started taking everything apart, and as y'all seen, I was trying to work it, and I was like, man, this is way too stiff. So just make sure to do that and to adjust your servo saver. It was super weak and just easy to manipulate. So suspension, I am running 50 weight in the front, 45 in the rear. The differentials, which this thing does have 3, it has a center diff. So front diff 10,000 weight, center diff 15,000, rear diff 15,000. I shaved the top of the knuckles in the rear to move the rod in to the furthest position on the knuckle, and in order to do that, because of how thick these like little pieces are right here, I had to trim the knuckle to even get the rod in to fit all the way. So I did that to where I could back these links out to give me tunability, because like I said, they're all maxed. They're all maxed out, and when they're like that, you have no range of tunability for camber. So I'm gonna figure something out for the front, just haven't done it yet. I do have these ran out because of my knuckle mod to run buggy wheels. I've got the rear camber links ready to go. As far as the buggy wheels themselves, as you can see, J Concepts, they are the Double D's version 2 green compound, so they're super soft, and this is their newer style buggy rims. So I got them. I am running a raw speed wing. They have 2 in a pack pre-cut, so I've got 2 of these wings, which is awesome. So I actually have this one that is already painted and tuned for an option. So my second one, I will have it cut down in different placement so I can have tunability out there on the track with wings. Appreciate y'all watching. I hope you got some useful information out of this. As always, there's more to come.